Hi kids, today we're going to visit another animal on our big book of animals. This is another bird, a very interesting bird, and you probably only see them in the zoos because they're not native to America. And this is called the toucan. The toucan. Now here's a nice picture of a toucan. And you can see a very unusual bird. Got a big funny looking beak. And you might remember the Fruit Loops cereal has a picture of a toucan. His name is Toucan Sam. So we're going to talk about toucans today a little bit. Now they're, of course, birds. They are in the same family as woodpeckers. And you've probably heard of woodpeckers. You may have heard woodpeckers hammering on trees outside. Well, let's see. Let's read a little bit about the description of toucans. Here's another one here too. And you see they're very brightly colored. There are 40 species of toucans ranging in size from weighing only a few ounces to over 1 pound and measuring 1 to 2 feet long. They have short, solid bodies and rounded tails. Their necks are short and thick. Most toucans are black with touches of yellow and orange on their necks. You'll see this one here has yellow, and so is this other one has a yellow neck. Toucans have colorful bills, usually orange, red, and yellow with splashes of blue and orange at the tips. Keel-billed toucans range from around 17 to 22 inches long, and their bills average around 5 inches. They are very colorful. Their necks and chests are yellow, their short legs are blue, and the tips of their tails are red. Now we'll go down to the legs here. You see those feet. He's got blue feet, and it's not because he's cold. A group of toucans is technically called a Durante of toucans, and some of you parents would know, considering Jimmy Durante, who was an actor way back then, it had a large nose. So that's why they call them a Durante of toucans, but most people refer to them as a flock, like in most birds. Now there's a constellation named after the bird called the Toucana. So even in space, you might look at that real quick like, there's a constellation called Toucana. Now toucans have a narrow gray tongue that is about 20 inches long. So their tongue is very long, just as the tongue was on the hummingbird that we looked at last time. I'm going to turn the page here. Whoa, look at that. That's quite a beak. What do you think he's eating there? Looks like it might be a pear, an apple, something like that. And look at that nice big eye. Their bills can be red, yellow, blue, white, green, brown, or black, or a combination of colors. Male toucans get their colorful bills to get the attention of females. Toucans have short wings, so they can only fly very short distances. And you can see the short wings on the toucan. Look at that big old bill. That's quite a feat to be able to fly with that big bill in front of you, I guess. Let's read a little bit more about toucans' bills, and I'll pan over to these birds here. Only God could create such a work of art like toucans' bills. They are thin and light, and are hollow inside, so they're not as heavy as they look. When toucans are hungry, they use their bills to pick fruit. If the fruit is hard or too big, they either cut it into smaller pieces with their beaks, or use their bills like a saw to break the hard fruit shell. The bills are so large that they get in the way when toucans try to sleep. Toucans like to live in flocks. During breeding season, males sometimes look for a delicious fruit to drop into the female's bills. After females lay eggs, both the male and female incubate them. In other words, they both sit on them, both the male and the female. The chicks hatch with soft pads on their feet to keep them from injury in the nest. Now look at this guy. He's got a bright chest there, and looks like he's wearing a belt. God created toucans with the ability to turn their head completely backwards and rest their bills on their backs, fold their tails, and cover their heads. God created toucans with light bills, so resting them on their backs is not very heavy. Researchers find the bill's unique building interesting. Even though the bills are light, they are very hard. Their bills are used in different ways that require fine motor skills and great strength. Researchers copied toucans' bills to create light, strong vehicles. One of the most unique toucan species is the gray-breasted mountain toucan, which lives in southern Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. They live at much lower altitudes than other toucan species and stay quiet while flying. They don't like to live close to other birds. Now, did you know that tropical birds such as toucans live in the tropical forests of South and Central America? And they can live up to 50 years in captivity. Toucans are not parrots. Instead, they are birds with hard, long, and colorful bills. Sometimes their bills are longer than their bodies. They are amazing to look at because of their beautiful colors. Toucans eat fruit dipped in bugs and bird eggs. Ugh, fruit dipped in bugs. Toucans' lifespans in captivity are longer than in the wild. Now, why do you think that? Why do you think they might live longer in captivity than in the wild? I think probably because they get cared for and they get protected from different predators that might eat the birds. And you'll see that there. Here we have a toucan here sharing a little bit of food there with his baby. And you can see they're very social birds within their own realm, but they like to stay away from other birds in other times. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed learning about toucans, and next week we'll learn about another very interesting bird.